Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ and Chris. And next up, we have Erin Kraemer of AWS, who will tell us how we can deliver AI products and applications to our customers and users.
Good to see you all, my friends. All right, so this is audience participation moment. All right, first, I want you to raise your hand if you consider yourself someone who's working in AI right now. All right, rock on. Okay, now, I want you to raise your hand again if you would have said that 3 or 4 years ago. I'm gonna put my hand down. All right, yep, a lot of you are in the same boat that I am. Okay, so my name is Erin Kraemer, and I work for AWS Agentic AI. So about 3 years ago, I never would have imagined what I get to work on today. So I joined Amazon in the year 2000 as a web developer, which gave me a front row seat to massive technological transformation for nearly 25 years. In my career, I've got to focus on things like applied technology, but primarily focusing on tech to solve meaningful problems. When I started, the internet itself was actually reasonably new. We've got up on screen a screenshot from Amazon in roughly the era when I started. I'm going to note that we didn't even use JavaScript on the website because it was not well supported by browsers yet. I also made sure that all of the HTML tags were in capitals. That was the standard at the time. So what I've gotten to participate in over the last 25 years is massive change with the advent of microservices, the birth of the cloud, mobile computing, and all of the use of big data that has helped us surprise and delight our customers. I've gotten basically participate in a whole bunch of cycles of technology adoption. So as I've been diving into this AI space, I've been seeing a lot of skepticism, not a big surprise. And that reminded me of Paul Krugman's somewhat infamous 1998 quote. By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machine. Right? Yep, that was us in 1998, my friends. So I absolutely acknowledge that it is very tough to tell when a technology is going to be revolutionary versus evolutionary, right? Particularly right when we're in the thick of it. But for me, given what I've seen over the course of my career, it's revolutionary, right? And the patterns that we are seeing are echoing some of the previous transformative technologies, but possibly with even greater potential to reshape how we create value. So AI represents a fundamentally different type of technological evolution. While previous waves were primarily focused on enhancing our ability to communicate, compute, and connect, AI directly augments human cognition itself, our ability to think, our ability to create and solve problems. This isn't just another productivity tool. It's a shift from tools that help us to collaborative partners, representing a very profound shift in not only how we work, but how we think about designing our organizations. So agentic AI in particular marks this transition from a passive AI tool that responds to specific prompts to autonomous systems capable of reasoning, planning, and taking initiative towards goals. This not only changes the way that work gets done, but how organizations are going to structure themselves around this new form of augmented intelligence. And unlike previous technology adoption, this one is going to require us to really think about fundamental trust-building exercises. Because when AI becomes a collaborative partner, trust is going to be everything. So at Amazon, I get asked a lot, how does Amazon use generative AI? How are we using AI agents? And this is a glimpse of some of the ways that we're using it. So, of course, we've got things like, for our retail customers, Rufus helps serve as an AI shopping assistant, helping discover products, make informed decisions. We've got AI to transform the way we present product information, automatically generating helpful review summarizations and highlights. We've got tools for our advertisers to help them create higher quality content, to target their audience. And we have things like Amelia, which serves as an AI-powered expert to help our sellers grow their businesses. These applications extend across Amazon. It's really honestly everywhere, from Fire TV to Prime Video to Amazon Music, in our pharmacy businesses with prescription services. But what's particularly noteworthy for Amazon, at least, is that while we do have a lot of experiments, most of these aren't experiments. These are in production. These are delivering value for millions of customers every day. So one of the things that I've observed that organizations tend to do and gravitate towards as they are getting into AI is they tend to gravitate towards volume metrics, partly because those are relatively easy to measure, but not necessarily because they're particularly meaningful. They ask things like my own personal favorite, how many lines of code are being written by AI? Oh my gosh, I'm tired of that email. Or how many documents are being produced? These questions focus on activity, not on impact. I would encourage you, as you're thinking about AI adoption, to rethink your measurement. Focus on outcomes rather than throughput, and basically shift from measuring what teams are doing to measure what customers are experiencing. So look for places where you're bottlenecking on value delivery and you're bottlenecking on that on human reasoning, things like repetitive analysis, routine decisions, complex data processing. That's where AI creates a lot of value right now. And so instead of celebrating things like velocity of feature delivery, measure things like improvement in catalog quality, or reduction in cost per order, or increase in customer satisfaction. These value metrics directly relate to your business income, your business outcomes, and customer experience. And we're actually seeing some really great examples of value delivery with AI from some of our customers. So take Syngenta. They're tackling one of the most complex decision-making challenges out there, farming. Right? So you've got weather, soil conditions, crop stages. There are a lot of variables that need to be accounted for. And even the most experienced farmer can't necessarily optimize for everything manually. So Syngenta built CropWise AI with Amazon Bedrock agents. This is a multi-agent system that pulls together massive agricultural data sets, giving personalized seed recommendations, and it does predictive crop modeling. Farmers are seeing up to a 5% increase in yield, right? This goes directly to feeding humans, my friends, and much more sustainable agricultural processes through this work. So that may not seem huge, but 5% in agriculture is a really big bump. I grew up in Eastern Washington in farm country. The farmers there are some of the most hardworking and resourceful people I have ever had a chance to meet, but turns out not all of them have a background in data analytics. And so what this gives them is the ability to focus on the already hard work of farming while still benefiting from effective use of their data to really improve their outcomes. Another example of value delivery is with Rocks. So they're building agentic AI sales platforms on AWS. So instead of sales reps spending hours researching accounts and prepping for meetings, Rocks deploys an autonomous agents that continuously gather data from CRMs and other data sources. And as a result, their customers seeing 50% productivity gains and 2x revenue per rep. One of their customers, Binder, increased their average deal size by 40%, and another saw 90% reduction in meeting prep time. And honestly, nobody likes prepping for meetings. So this frees up sales teams to focus on what they do best, building relationships and closing deals. While AI handles all the background, the research, all that stuff that needs to happen anyway. So suddenly sales reps become both relationship builders and research analysts. And here's another one that hits reasonably close to home for any of those of us who've been in software and been on call. Resolve AI, so if you're a software engineer, you absolutely know that 3AM page is something that nobody wants to deal with. So rather than getting paged at midnight for something an AI agent can fix, the engineers get to sleep, right? Because they're starting to see things like improved incident response time and a 75% improvement in on-call productivity. During business hours, instead of firefighting, those developers are now focusing on new feature development. But it's not just about developer happiness, right? We know reduced MTTR also means faster resolution for customers, better reliability. And this is especially powerful for small startups, right? Because they may have brilliant ideas, but have not necessarily built out the deep operational expertise or just that on-call bench to be able to respond to those 3 a.m. pages. So with solutions like this, engineers become both builders and operations experts. So what you're seeing across all of these examples, from farmers to sales reps to engineers, is the emergence of what I'm going to call the Renaissance worker. As AI handles specialized technical tasks, professionals can transcend role boundaries. Just like Leonardo da Vinci excelled at art, engineering, and science, today's AI-augmented professionals maintain deep expertise in their core domains while gaining meaningful capabilities across adjacent areas. This isn't about being mediocre generalists. It's about AI enabling you to be both a farmer and a data scientist, a sales rep and a research analyst. The result is a more integrative problem solving and removal of those collaboration bottlenecks that traditionally slow down value delivery. And this is the future that we're all building towards, right? Organizations full of Renaissance workers who deliver more value because they're not constrained by traditional silos. So the Renaissance worker, it shows that the value is real, but how do you build systems that constantly deliver that value? This is where trust becomes critical. So for AI to function as a collaborative partner, rather than just tools, organizations must deliver robust trust frameworks that balance autonomy and oversight. So that's going to include, I'm going to say 5 elements, right? The first is situational awareness. Understanding when to let AIs run autonomously versus when human intervention is necessary. Second, clear guardrails, right? Defining explicit boundaries for AI decision-making authority and then sticking to them. Third, verification mechanisms. Systems for validating the AI output before it impacts your customers. Fourth, feedback loops, right? Processes for your AI systems to learn from mistakes and improve over time. And finally, culture adaptation, recognizing that your culture is going to shift as people gain these new capabilities, right? And as AI becomes an integrative collaborative partner, this isn't just a technology change, it is a cultural transformation. Just like we had to build trust in putting credit cards on the web in the year 2000, AI is going to need to go through that same trust-building exercise through demonstrated reliability, transparency, and ongoing high-quality performance. But here's the thing. For all of you in this room, you are already Renaissance workers. You're here at this conference because you have great ideas about things that you can deliver with AI. And maybe you're thinking about automating that tedious process that's been bugging you for months. Maybe you want to build that dashboard you've been dreaming of, or maybe you see a way to give your customers value in a way that you never have been able to do before. So the challenge is not the ideas. It's having the tools and capabilities to turn these ideas into a reality while maintaining that trust. And of course, this is what AWS is here for, right? Whether you're looking for pre-built agents, to experiment with open source tools, or build sophisticated custom agents, we provide models, tools, and infrastructure you need. We bring decades of experience building secure, resilient, and globally scaled systems, along with advanced controls for things like data privacy, access management, and monitoring. We want to give all of you the ability to turn your weekend curiosity into production value. The ability to go from, wouldn't it be cool if, to that, here's a working solution, without needing a team of specialists. That's the Renaissance worker future, and we're here to enable it. So this is the future that we're building towards. Organizations full of Renaissance workers who deliver more value because they're not constrained by traditional silos. It's not about efficiency alone. It's about creating fundamentally better ways of working, where humans focus on creativity, judgment, and empathy, while AI handles the routine and the analytically complex. The most successful organizations won't just be those that have the most sophisticated AI tools, but those that more effectively enable their people to become Renaissance workers, maintaining deep expertise in their core domains while gaining meaningful capabilities across adjacent areas. So here's my call to action for you. Go build organizations that enable Renaissance workers, even if that's just an organization of you and a team of collaborative agents. Build trust in your AI systems from day one. Focus on value delivery, not volume metrics. And remember, it's on us, particularly those of us who've been in this industry for a while, to bring what we know about building trust and technology to this new era. The Renaissance worker future is not coming, it is here, and I'm hoping that you will all build this with me. And with that, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you around the conference.